And thanks for the opportunity of allowing me time to address this important issue, not just for constituents in my own constituency of Wicklow, but also the wider implications and ramifications for childminding right across the entire state. Minister, you may be aware of an ongoing dispute between ChildMinding Ireland and 4 IMPACT union members in my constituency of Wicklow. Unfortunately, it's escalated from the time this originated. The 4 members have been out on strike now since the 7th of June. Now, from the time I tabled this topical issue, things have moved on slightly. I'm aware their negotiations have commenced between the union and ChildMinding Ireland. But having said that, there are some issues there that still need to be raised here. The dispute is in relation to compulsory redundancies, Minister, given to staff without any prior consultation taking place between ChildMinding Ireland and the IMPACT members in question. And this is despite the fact that ChildMinding Ireland is not experiencing any financial difficulties whatsoever and has produced no business case to justify these losses at all. And the reason given by ChildMinding Ireland for these compulsory redundancies is that they are part of restructuring going on within the organisation. However, why these redundancies are necessary under this restructuring remains totally unclear to any of the staff involved, unless you, Minister, you may have an update on that. And as I have said, 4 IMPACT trade union members have been out on strike since June the 7th at the HQ, which is located in Kilcool in County Wicklow. Last week, the same IMPACT members handed in a letter to Minister Sabone in her office in the Department for Children and Youth Affairs, asking her to get involved because their substantial state funding goes to ChildMinding Ireland. I believe it's in the region of 360,000 is administered through Pobble to that particular organisation. And the IMPACT trade union members were asking the Minister to get involved and encourage ChildMinding Ireland to have the issue addressed through the recognised structures, the Workplace Relations Commission. And while ChildMinding Ireland has entered into the talks with IMPACT members in recent days, a conclusion has yet to be reached. I welcome the fact that the talks are ongoing between the IMPACT members and ChildMinding Ireland through the Workplace Relations Commission, and I do hope there is a successful conclusion. But I think I would like the Minister, maybe he might have some answers to this, to clarify as to whether Minister Sabone actually did use her office to put pressure on ChildMinding Ireland to engage in the recognised structures, the Workplace Relations Commission, where this dispute should have been dealt with in the first place. And indeed, as to whether maybe the Minister might be able to clarify as to whether the Minister had any contact with the union involved, the IMPACT trade union, and also, as to why this was allowed to continue on from the strike time when they first went out on the 7th of June right up until last Friday when negotiations first commenced. So that was the 24th. So 3 weeks went on before ChildMinding Ireland actually started to engage with the relevant body. So maybe, Minister, you might be able to clarify.
Thank you, Deputy Brady. Minister.
Thank you very much indeed, Cathaoirleach, and I want to thank Deputy Brady for raising this important matter and giving me an opportunity to respond here this afternoon in the House. First of all, can I say, Deputy Brady, Ireland has a robust suite of employment rights legislation which offers extensive protection to employees. Those protections include the Protection of Employment Act 1977 to 2007, which provides for a process of information and consultation between the employer and the employee representatives in circumstances where a collective redundancy is proposed. You also have the Minimum Notice and Terms of Employment Act 1973 to 2005, which gives employees entitlements to specified notice periods or payment in lieu of such notice. You have the Payment of Wages Act 1971, which protects outstanding wages, holiday pay, commission and bonuses. In addition, the Redundancy Payment Acts, which are administered by the Minister for Social Protection, provides a minimum statutory redundancy payment. The Workplace Relations Commission, which you mentioned, Deputy Brady, is mandated to secure compliance with employment rights legislation. The WRC Customer Service section provides information in relation to the employment, equality and industrial relations rights and obligations, and how to obtain redress where appropriate. Staff form the information unit of the WRC are available to meet with staff either individually or collectively to discuss their employment rights, including matters related to redundancy. The WRC Customer Service section can be contacted at low call 1890 80 80 90, and the website workplacerelations.ie also provides extensive information on employment rights. I think that's extremely important that the WRC provides that information. In relation to the dispute at issue, I understand that's to do with, as you've rightly pointed out, with the redundancy of a number of staff members due to restructuring of the organisation. I also understand that the parties are currently engaged with the Workplace Relations Commission in an effort to resolve the dispute. So I say to Deputy Burke, even what appears to be the most, I suppose, irretractable of disputes, I think is capable of being resolved when both sides engage constructively, in good faith and in a voluntary process. The principle of good faith implies that both sides in a dispute make every effort to reach an agreement and endeavour through genuine and constructive negotiations to arrive at a conclusion that is satisfactory to all concerned. Ireland's system of industrial relations is essentially voluntary in nature, and responsibility for the resolution of industrial disputes between the employers and workers, whether in redundancy or in collective disputes, rests with the employer, the workers and their representatives. The State provides the industrial relations dispute settlement mechanism to support parties in their efforts to resolve their differences. So, Deputy Burke, I would urge both parties to continue this engagement in order to find an acceptable resolution to this matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. Deputy.
Thanks, Minister, and thank you for outlining, I suppose, what members of the Union are acutely aware of, and indeed the Union members themselves who have been trying to get ChildMinding Ireland to engage them through the WRC, and that's where the problem has been from the outset of this industrial action, as I outlined, which commenced on the 7th of June. So they are acutely aware of what is there to help resolve this dispute. But the problem here is that you have a state-funded body to the tune of €360,000 blatantly ignoring and had done so for 3 weeks, which has seen these 3 staff members effectively locked out of their place of employment in Kilcool, where this body, in receipt of substantial state funding, failed to engage in that body. Now, I asked 2 specific questions there as to whether the Minister with responsibility, Minister Sabone, actually used her influence through her department to exert pressure on ChildMinding Ireland to engage with the WRC to end this dispute with the staff members involved. And it raises broader issues there in relation to childminders. As the Minister is probably aware, there's an awful lot of low-paid workers in that particular type of work, and an awful lot of lack of funding from local authorities and indeed government. And I think that has led to this type of dispute here, which we're seeing, and unfortunately we're seeing far too many disputes such as this, and exploitation of employees. And when you have bodies such as ChildMinding Ireland blatantly disregarding approved bodies that are there to deal with these workplace relation issues, and the Minister, as far as I can see, hasn't used her influence whatsoever to encourage ChildMinding Ireland to get in there and deal with the issues that are before them. So I don't know whether the Minister might be able to answer those couple of specific questions.
Deputy Brady, again, can I just say to you that the Ireland system of industrial relations is voluntary in nature, and the responsibility for the resolution of industrial relations lies ultimately with the employers and the workers and their respective representatives. I have to say, and I would agree with you, that disputes like this are regrettable. obviously for the parents involved. However, the restructuring and the current dispute is an operational matter for the employer and the board of the ChildMinding Ireland. So you asked me about the Minister for Children. I think it would be inappropriate for her to interfere in such matters. And while I have no direct role as Minister for Employment and Labour Affairs in this matter, the dispute is with the WRC, who are actively involved here. And I have to say to you, Deputy Burke, the WRC are the most professional group that I've ever encountered here. I think we have put into place a world-class system for fast and effective resolution of workplace relations, and the workplace relations, I call it, it's a one-stop shop dealing with all disputes and workplace relations as well. So in addition, I said the WRC also has a role in terms of advising workers of their rights and the statutory entitlements, and ensuring that the employer is compliant with employment rights legislation. So I think the dispute is at the right place at the moment with the WRC, and as I said earlier to you, Deputy Burke, I would encourage all parties to be actively involved here. And as I said, you know, some of the disputes which you've seen out there that you think that can't be resolved, when it comes down to the talks at the WRC, when everybody's involved, I think there's reason for compromise and work here. So I think they're independent. We've let them do their work independently, and as I say, it would be inappropriate for me to comment on the company's specific matters at this stage. So let's wait and see what the WRC will come up with, and the parties involved. They're there since October 25. They were established since October 2015. And they have done a really good job so far in the disputes and the relations which they work with. So let's wait and see, and we urge all parties involved to ensure that we get a successful conclusion to this dispute in the interest of the child minding facilities and the parents and children involved.
Thank you very much, Minister.